India has to make its own decisions about how it approaches this challenge. India's relationship with Russia was developed over decades at a time when the United States was not able to be a partner to India. Times have changed. Today, we are able and willing to be a partner of choice with India across virtually every realm.
Thank you for the advice and suggestions in your question. I prefer to do it my way and articulate it my way. Your attention should be focused on Europe. Our total purchases for the month would be less than what Europe does in an afternoon. So you might want to think about it.
Ministers, secretaries, thank you. Keeping in mind that all four of you have talked about the deep friendship and alliance between the U.S. and India, I have several questions. First, for Secretary Blinken. Isn't it problematic that after 48 days of war, that India has yet to condemn Russia's invasion? What more can the U.S. do to persuade India to make what some would argue is a symbolic step, but still a critical one? And there are a number of reports suggesting that Moscow and Delhi are trying to work out some sort of currency exchange for future energy purchases. Did you tell Secretary Jaishankar that these could risk violations of not just current sanctions, but also risk violating CAATSA? Secretary Austin, this is a larger policy question. Has the U.S. missed an opportunity in the past 17 years, since the beginning of this strategic partnership, to replace Moscow as Delhi's choice for weapons, for military materiel, not just the training and the robust partnership that we see in the military sphere? And finally, for the ministers Jaishankar and Singh, why not condemn Russia's invasion? Wouldn't this best reflect India's foreign policy goals and international standing? And what is the leverage that the Indian government has to persuade Vladimir Putin that the carnage that we are seeing every day simply must not stop, that it's not helping the Ukrainian people, and that it's not helping the Russian people? Thank you so much.
First, I should note, before getting specific to the question, that Prime Minister Modi, President Biden had a very warm and productive conversation today in their virtual summit. Covered a lot of ground, including some of the things that we mentioned: COVID-19, climate, strengthening the global economy, a free and open Indo-Pacific that we both aspire to. On Russia-Ukraine, they talked about ways of mitigating the profound impact that this is having on global food supplies and prices, commodity markets, and working together to achieve that. I would note, India has made very strong statements in New York at the UN, the minister before the Indian Parliament, condemning the killing of civilians in Ukraine, calling for an independent investigation of these atrocities. And I would also note that India is providing significant humanitarian assistance to the people of Ukraine, notably medicines, which are very necessary and in real demand. India has to make its own decisions about how it approaches this challenge. We, as a general proposition, are consulting with all of our allies and partners on the consequences of Putin's war, the atrocities being committed against the people of Ukraine. In our judgment, it is important that all countries, especially those with leverage, press Putin to end the war. And it's also important that democracies stand together and speak with one voice to defend the values that we share. And we do share profoundly the values of freedom, openness, independence, sovereignty, and those values need to apply everywhere. India's relationship with Russia was developed over decades at a time when the United States was not able to be a partner to India. Times have changed. Today, we are able and willing to be a partner of choice with India across virtually every realm: commerce, technology, education, and security. And that was very much the nature of the conversation that we had today. When it comes to oil purchases, sanctions, et cetera, I just note that there are carve-outs for energy purchases. Of course, we're encouraging countries not to purchase additional energy supplies from Russia. Every country is differently situated, has different needs, requirements, but we're looking to allies and partners not to increase their purchases of Russian energy.
Well, thanks, Raj. Regarding missed opportunities, of course, I can't say much about policy decisions that were made before my time. But what I can tell you is that President Biden truly values strong alliances and partnerships like the one that we have with India. And that's really what today is all about. It's about taking a strong relationship and making it even stronger, and working on those things that create interoperability and allow us to work together to promote the things that all of us have talked about. The issue of values is central to this relationship, and we'll continue to work to strengthen what's a very strong relationship, and so that we don't miss any opportunities going forward. So, thanks.
I think I probably answer for both of us. First of all, thank you for the advice and suggestions in your question. I prefer to do it my way and articulate it my way. Now, as Secretary Blinken has pointed out, we have made a number of statements which outline our position in the UN, in our parliament, and in other forums. And briefly, what those positions state is that we are against the conflict, we are for dialogue and diplomacy, we are for urgent cessation of violence, and we are prepared to contribute in whatever way to these objectives. I noticed you refer to oil purchases. If you are looking at energy purchases from Russia, I would suggest that your attention should be focused on Europe, which probably we do buy some energy which is necessary for our energy security. But I suspect, looking at the figures, probably our total purchases for the month would be less than what Europe does in an afternoon. So you might want to think about it.